Welcome to the Gate of Life podcast, your number one resource for living a better life every single day. I'm your host, Justin Flinner, acupuncturist, Tai Chi instructor, and coffee lover, and I will be leading you on a new journey. Each episode in the Gate of Life podcast will help you to start feeling a little bit more like you. Now, I'm sure 2020 was a year that forced you to question a lot of areas in your life. Your career, your finances, your relationships, your health, your political affiliations, and perhaps your beliefs. As you walk with me in the new evolution of this podcast, I will guide you through these areas of your life and through the Gate of Life to a place where you can look out into the world with open eyes and an open heart, where you can learn to enjoy life and all that it has to offer you. On behalf of My Mature Medicine, I thank you for being here with me. Now, let's go take your first step through the Gate of Life. Hey there, and welcome back to the Gate of Life podcast. I'm your host, Justin Flinner, and I really want to thank you for being here and listening to our podcast. It means a lot to me. And I also want to let you know that if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, we have some videos on there. We have a variety. We got Tai Chi, we have some ab exercises, some back exercises, even me playing the piano a little bit. And we publish some new videos on different topics each week. And the topics change each month. Right now we're focusing on the core if this is your first time tuning in with us. Last month, January, was on the back. So listen to these podcasts, follow along with the videos online, and keep up to speed with all of the things that you've been working on for this new year, 2021. Again, thank you for listening, and let's get to today's episode. As you know, the month of February, we're focusing on your core, your abdomen, in both our videos and a little bit here on our podcast. This week, I want to start with a few interesting facts, but not about our core, about the Earth's core, believe it or not. It's pretty amazing. I mean, the planet itself, but also what is at the core of it is very, very hot substance, a very hot core that we can't get to, we can't penetrate. And actually it is hotter than the sun, according to sources online. And I do want to actually cite a few things that I've been looking at online to try to get some more information for today's episode. And it's pretty amazing. The Earth's core is about the size of the moon. It's extremely hot and is actually hotter than the sun itself. So what's beneath your feet is hotter. Think about that for a second. What is beneath your feet inside the core of the earth is hotter than the sun itself. That's pretty amazing. And it spins faster than the surface of Earth. The inside of our earth, the core of our earth, spins faster than the surface. That's pretty amazing too. So there's a lot of information out there online. You can learn all the different things about the core of the earth. And you might have some crazy questions like, can you drill to the center of the earth? How long would it take to travel from one side of the earth to the other, or fall from one side of the earth to the other? And that statistic is actually here. Let me find it again. To fall from one side of the earth, it's something like, here it is. This is from livescience.com. If you were to fall through the earth, it would be about 42 minutes and 12 seconds to fall all the way through. How long does it take when you skydive? It's like 60 seconds to get, 15,000 feet, something like that? I don't know exactly how long that takes, but 42 minutes. You're falling for 42 minutes and 12 seconds. And the other thing I was curious about was, what is the deepest hole that has ever been drilled into the earth? And actually, The deepest hole is called the Kola Super Deep Borehole, and this is from BBC. And the depth was 12.2 kilometers. If you're not familiar with kilometers, how about 40,230 feet deep? And the locals that live in this area can swear that they hear the screams of souls being tortured in hell. Now, that's not probably the best way to start a podcast for today, but I do want to think about the core. The core, and the best way to relate that is to the core of something else, and the core of the earth, which is right underneath our feet. How does that apply to today? Well, your core of who you are generates everything that you do. Now, of course, we usually think of the abdomen, the core of these muscles. When you do exercise, you generate some heat, some warmth, the muscle fibers moving. We're having these contractions that occur that lead to movement. They lead to warming up your body. They lead to action. They lead to results. So when you do ab exercises, you do them frequently, you do them every day, you do a certain number of repetitions, and you're really diligent about it, you get to see some results. It's continuously taking place. And there's something even beyond your core that is at the core of that. And that is about your desire. Your desire to do things differently. Your desire to achieve a goal. Your desire to go on vacation. Your desire to achieve something in your life. The core. What is at the core of it all? And this is probably the most interesting thing about every individual. And that actually goes all the way back to a podcast I did in the past about asking, why do you get out of bed in the morning? What about life inspires you to do what you want to do? What is at your core? So each time we do an exercise, each time we study for a test, each time we go to work, each time you should be remembering why it is you're doing it all. Because otherwise, you're just going to end up thinking short term and saying, I go to work for the paycheck, and that's it. I get up in the morning so that I can go to the bathroom and go back to bed because I don't want to do anything with my life. I get up and study for exams so that I can pass them and then I can go out and make some money. We're very short-sighted. We don't understand what is at the core of it all. Why? Why are you here? Why are you inspired to move forward each day a little bit farther and do a little bit better each time? Why do we tell our children these things? Because that's where it starts. You can blame your parents in a good way for them pushing you to go above and beyond what you think you're capable of doing. We don't know what we're capable of until we go beyond the limits. So this is the episode where I get to ask you, why do you get out of bed in the morning? Do you have a reason? Do you know what it is? Do you think you have a reason but are not quite sure about it? And myself, from time to time, I'm thinking, well, what was that reason again? I tend to forget. And the reason that I have is rooted basically in my family. Rooted in my children, my immediate family, my wife, all the things that our family does together, all the places that we go, all the things that I see each day watching my children grow up in the world that they will live in, that I am participating in creating. Because that's what you're doing. You're not just going to work. You're creating tomorrow. You ever thought about it that way? Everything that you do is happening today, but is happening for tomorrow. If you have children, everything that you do is for them, right? I hope. And every action that you take, they're watching. They're seeing what you're doing. If they don't see it now, they will see it later. So what is at the core of everything that you do? When you do your exercises, there are ab exercises each week now. What are you focusing on? Are you thinking about, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this exercise to be over. One more repetition. No, not another set. Or are you telling yourself, I can do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get the six-pack that I want. Or I'm going to lose the weight that I've been hanging on to for such a long time. I need to do this for me. I need to get stronger. I need to get better. You focus on that kind of imagery, you're going to do it. As long as you have a plan in mind. That's a whole other aspect of this. But the why do you get out of bed in the morning? This question, I want you to take a moment right now. We're going to do the 60-second thing. We're going to do the 60-second break while you go off and explore, this time, why you get out of bed in the morning. The moment you open your eyes, do you want to close them and go back to sleep and just sleep for the entire season of winter? Or are you ready to jump out of bed and move forward with the next thing for the day? It doesn't mean you need to do something every single day and just completely wear yourself out, but you do need to understand where this passion for life is. And if you're not sure what the passion is, or if you feel like you have no passion, it's time to develop it. It's time to find that little fire inside, that core, like the core of the earth that's burning hotter than the sun. What is the fire inside of you that is burning hotter than anything else that drives you to do the things that you can make a difference in this world? 60 seconds. This is your time to think about you and why you get out of bed in the morning. Your 60 seconds starts now. Alright, time's up. How'd you do? Did you find an answer? I know 60 seconds really isn't enough time to do that, but at least you have started to stoke that fire a little bit. And when it comes to actually stoking that fire, you need to make sure those coals in the fire are protected, that they can keep their warmth and then allow it to spread. So you have to place a little bit of wood on that fire each time. When it starts to burn down a little bit, add some more. Same thing for yourself. When you start to burn out a little bit, what do you got to do? You got to take a rest. You got to add some rest to that excessive use of your energy. When it's time to understand your passion, you have to figure out, okay, this is what really works for me, and then that fire starts to go out a little bit. You lose sight of it. You may not feel as passionate about that particular activity or goal anymore. Exercise is the same way. You do exercises for months and you get bored with the routine. You plateau. What do you need to do? You need to change it up, as people say. You need to add a little bit of wood onto that fire. Add something new. Add something new to the passion in your life. And protect it. pull it in together, just like you're doing your core exercises to strengthen your body, but your core is also there to protect the core of your body. What is underneath your abdominal muscles? Your vital organ systems. Everything that's inside of you, your stomach, your spleen, your pancreas, your liver, your intestines, your bladder, your kidneys, your heart, your lung, everything that exists inside of your torso needs to be protected. It is at the core of your physical body. Everything that is at the core of your mind needs to be protected. Everything that is at the core of your spirit, your soul, needs to be protected. And it all begins with what we can see, and that is our abdomen, doing those exercises, and then going beyond that, finding ways to protect our hopes and dreams. You wouldn't go up to your child and crush their hopes and dreams and say, "You're not good enough, don't even try that. It's not worth your time, because I can tell you don't have any potential." I would smack that parent in the face for saying something like that. We need to inspire other people, and the only way that we can inspire other people is when the warmth that emanates from us, from our core, and the passions that we have in life is strong enough to do so. It's like trying to stand next to a candle to get warm versus standing next to a bonfire to get warm. Two very different things, two very different sensations. So if you want to have passion in life and be a good demonstration for other people and provide inspiration for them, you need to nourish yourself and protect the fire that is burning at the core of who you are. That's it for this week's episode. I thank you for listening to the Gate of Life podcast, and don't forget to subscribe to wherever you're listening, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, you name it. We're all over the internet. Find one, push that subscribe button, and help us out. Leave some comments too. Go to our social media page, My Metro Medicine, and let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what you would like to hear in the future. So again, thank you so much for being here, for listening to the Gate of Life podcast, and I wish you an awesome day. Take care.
This podcast is brought to you by My Metro Medicine, an organization that is dedicated to helping people improve their lives by learning to empower themselves and take control of their own life. Any form of reproduction or distribution of this podcast is strictly prohibited. Should you have any questions on using this podcast or information that is contained within this podcast, please write to info@mymetromedicine.com.